What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw. I am so happy to be here. So glad to see all of you. Last week and this week really were doozies for me with my little guy. He was sicker than he's ever been in his entire life. I was beginning to think he was never going to eat again. Like, honestly, it was so bad. Then I thought I caught it. I was just really congested and just like really feeling terrible, and I had a high fever. But I was taking Mucinex and like nothing was happening. And normally Mucinex is like my go-to. I took a Zyrtec and I was basically better aside from the fever. And I've been taking Zyrtec once a day ever since. And I think it's just allergies, like the pollen count or whatever it is. I've never had allergies in my life, but I guess I do now because I feel so much better. I even went to my son's school for a track and field day today. We got rained out, so we left halfway through the day, but the half that we did do at school was really fun. I am very tired, but that's really nothing new for a Friday night for me. Ghosty was first. Netter says, my reading is going to be so ridiculously awesome again. I almost don't think I can take it. Almost, though. Almost. I like the positivity. Nomeo, I am so jealous of you right now in rest mode in Southern California. Blue Crossroads, scrolling around YouTube, and look what I run into. You see? Bunch of hooligans. This is where the hoodlums hang. A long way from here, from the Gulf of America. Josephine, hello, I'm here. Well, hello, I'm here now too. Jim's camera, what's up, sweetheart? Aunt Edna, hi. Roger Blair, howdy. Thank you, by the way, for following me on my other social medias. I did get your second comment. That was really cool that you did that. I do appreciate it. I try to keep things simple. It's just Gemma Jade or Gemma Jade YT, but one of the sites, it has to be Gemma_Jade_YT or Gemma.J. So it's like, it's always my name or my name with YT after, but depending on what the site is, it's like spelled some messed up way. If you guys go out of your way, I do appreciate that. I've also stopped getting political really anywhere. I was posting a lot of politics on TikTok, but it's not that it was turning people off. It was alienating people that I care about, like that I know and that I cared about alienating those people, right? If it was just like some random person that's just like, well, I'm not going to watch this, but it was a couple of people like back to back to back that I respect and I care for. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring it in. It's not to say I won't ever post anything, but I really toned it down a little. Found me on the Insta. I know, Netter, every time it's either RJ's home, RJ's sick, I'm sick, but you know what? With the summer coming, there's even more things we can do around here too, besides go to the mall. But I know you're so looking forward to going to the mall. I know you're looking forward to it. But yeah, I would love to see you again. The 20 minutes total we've spent together, but it's been awesome. You know, I really do like meeting you guys in person. Let me bring in Ghosty because I really don't have anything else I think of. I'll just bring forward as it comes to me. I do want to say last summer I had to take the whole summer off for the most part. I really couldn't get much work done and I was devastated and I lost a lot. So this summer I still don't have care for RJ because it's expensive. But what I'm doing now is stockpiling scripts. So the 2 days a week that I will have to myself, so it'll be one weekday, Friday nights for this, and then all day Sunday, I'll do filming and editing so I can at least do the pre-recordeds for you guys, and then I can film shorts at any time. So hopefully this summer is going to be a lot better than last, where I don't have to just completely close shop for the summer, because when that happened last year, I was getting like 600 to 1,000 subscribers a month consistently for 3 to 4 months, and then I shut down and I still haven't peaked again a year later. So I do not want that to happen. Let's bring in the Ghosty.
Hey folks, how y'all doing? We're all good. Hope you all are good. They were making fun of me on Mog's channel because I take too long to say goodbye. I start off saying bye to everybody, then 15 minutes later, bye, finally I'm leaving.
it's a community. It's
I
you
know.
know, like when you go to a cousin's barbecue or something and you're just having so much fun, you get kind of lost in it. And when it's time to go, you're like, I mean, I kind of rush out of here, but that's just because I get energetically drained. If it was someone else's stream and I was hanging out, I probably wouldn't want to leave either. With that being said, we have Miss Eris is paid for a timestamp on top of Tennille and Casey. And, you know, whoever else comes along, whatever we need. Other than that, let's just get started and we'll take it slow and let people start trickling in.
Well, New England's first if he wants to go first, since he was here first. If not, it'll
Netter,
be Blue.
do you want to go first or do you want to wait to the end? It's totally up to you.
But you got to tell us now. Okay. I'm going to make sure I mark it. So go ahead and do Blue if he's here. Blue. Okay, he's here.
He's here? Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Blue, I'm actually going to use Dylan Waite. This is one of my favorites that I pulled back out recently. I want to go. Thank you, Miss Josephine. I want to go through these decks because week after week I pile the same ones that I use on top of one another, and there are really good ones I haven't used in a while just because they're at the bottom. So I'm gonna go through and dust them off. These aren't even all the ones I have that are next to me right now. I just can't fit them. I can't fit all of them. Remote watching in the shower. All right, this card jumped out. You got the Princess and the Frog. My little love bug. I am a princess. One day, as I was playing in the royal garden with my gold ball, it dropped into a pond. A strange frog appeared and proposed to retrieve the ball under the condition that I accept to marry him. I accepted too carelessly. That night, the frog showed up at the palace. My father lectured me and forced me to keep my word. Alone in the bedroom with the frog, I was so disgusted that I threw him against the wall. He then turned into Prince Charming. Oh, God. You've made a promise. You've given your word, maybe too hastily or too carelessly. Anyway, you must meet your commitment. You can't weasel out of your responsibilities. That doesn't sound like you at all. So just hang tight because I already think I know what this is about. Of course, the situation seems to have very bad sides that you don't want to cope with. However, maybe there's a hidden gift here, but you'll only find it by being true to your commitment. So you could be having second thoughts and doubts about something you promised. More likely, though, when I first picked up this card, I saw this. I want to say think back, but you may not be able to remember until it pops up, you know, which is why I'm so glad you guys come into these readings, because then when these things happen, hopefully what happens is you pop back here and be like, oh, Gemma did say this, right? Gemma did warn me about this. Gemma. I feel like somebody is trying to get you to fulfill like a promise. It might not have even been a promise, but you maybe said something casually, you know, like if you ever need anything, call me, you know, to someone out of sympathy or pity. And now this person's like, yeah, but you said you'd be there. And meanwhile, they're calling you 47 times a day and they're asking you for, you know, 57 different things. And I feel like this is someone trying to almost like work you to keep you in their life or to bring you into their life. So this could be a brand new person that you're meeting. More than likely, though, it's someone you've at least met once in the past. Hold that thought. I think it's a person that's going to be like, you said, if you remember in, you know, I'm just being ridiculous, but in third grade, you told me, you know what I mean? Like it's something maybe you said in passing, or maybe something you did promise, but you promised it like a lifetime ago, right? And it could be Atlanta, where someone is trying to, I don't want to say they're trying to manipulate your emotions, because I don't feel a negative energy coming from whoever this is. I feel like this person or these people, they really do feel like you either owe them something here, or that, you know, you promised this, whatever it may be. I just feel like at this point, and you know, that didn't even pop up until you said it, but that could very well be it. I feel like at this point, you know, that might as well have been a lifetime ago. right? So you may have to, even though the card, this is why I read intuitively, we go off card and I speak to your teams directly, you might have to go back on a promise, right? Whether or not you feel the need to explain yourself to this person or these people is up to you. I feel like maybe you should, but once, right? Explain your reasoning for not wanting to fulfill this commitment or keep this promise or whatever one time, and for once and for all, and that's it. The point being, don't be guilted, manipulated into doing something that you don't want to do. It could be something that you've always wanted to do or always wanted to be a part of, and it's coming up now, and it's like now is just not the time in your life that you're looking for what and or whoever this is. And you may have to let someone down gently. You may have to break a problem or break a promise, right? But at this point, I don't feel like that's what it is, because I feel like this was a promise or something made a long time ago. Anne's Human, welcome, and I'm really glad that you're here. Readings, if you're not a member, are actually $2 to PayPal or Cash App, $4 through YouTube because they take half. You don't have to get a reading to hang out. You can hang out with us and talk and take what resonates from other people's readings. A lot of people do that. But the free readings that I give in this stream, they're not really free because they go to members or people who've paid on PayPal and Cash App. Sometimes YouTube. I'm from the Northeast. What's up, Miss Jules? Did somebody else come in? Blue, if you're the one feeling the obligation here, I don't see that, but I mean, it could be, right? If you're the one feeling the obligation and feeling as though, maybe feeling bad or feeling like, I told this person I would do that. Explain to the person, talk to them about what you're feeling and why, right? It doesn't mean you have to have a feeling fest, especially with that kind of a person. You guys are both, tough guys, and maybe that's not something y'all do together. But I think in this case, it would be beneficial for him to understand, if this is what it is, where you're at in your life and why you've made the decision you have. That way he can understand it. But I feel like if that's the case, it's probably bothering you more than it is him, though I wouldn't say it's not bothering him at all. I do see a lot of confusion here where like one person thinks, he promised me this, or it's you thinking, oh man, I promised them that. And the other person's just like, not really, whatever, and like moving on. Do you know what I'm saying? One person is stuck on this promise part of it. And it's no good. It's very unhealthy. It's going to cause overthinking, and especially being a Libra sun. Yeah, so talk it through. If you feel that explaining is going to make you feel better, do you know what I'm saying? Just to let them know why you stand where you do. Not that you're abandoning anyone or that you don't still have a heart or respect for it, but because you're at a different place in your life and you're starting over again and you're doing all of these really amazing things that just don't include making time for king and country, as you put it. I'm sorry, who did you say was next?
Josephine.
All right.
You still here, right, Josephine?
She's here. She's just always on a delay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, if he's still here, he or she is still here. Thank you, Netter. So, Anne's Human, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. If you're still here, let us know. Somebody just paid for your reading. The payment for reading thing is not a forever thing, guys. It's just me making a point and weeding some things out for me personally, to kind of see who rides with me and who doesn't. To be honest with you, I've been kind of feeling this out for the past few months, and I'm just like, it's great having the extra memberships, but just not really feeling it. So bear with me a little bit longer. The paid reading things, as far as in here, are not going to be forever going forward. Maybe just a few more weeks and I'll figure something else out. Maybe start doing some special stuff for the members so that the membership is a little bit more than, $10 a month. So, this. I'm working on some other things for members so that we don't have to do this, because I really hate turning people away. It just really gets me. So Anne's human, if I hope that you're still listening and you didn't just completely exit. But if you're here, your reading's paid for. Nut slap, life with Bobby, Josephine, I see you, girl. So yeah, it's not a forever thing. And I love that you guys, have been bearing with me and haven't been complaining. And I love that. I lost a lot of people, but I think I needed to learn that lesson, because there are plenty of people who really don't have it. And I get it, because I love so many YouTubers and want to support them. I literally can't. I can't even do a $1 membership. I can't. So I get it. But I still watch their stuff. I still comment. You know what I mean? I still come in. I still and I've learned a valuable lesson about some people with that by doing this. All right, cool, Netter. Thank you. You guys are all so sweet and so generous to one another. Yeah, I think a couple more weeks, and maybe once summer starts, we'll go back to the free, or we'll figure out a different way to do it. We'll figure something out. I want to do more for members anyway, so this is kind of like the push that I need to put that special content out there. Maybe I'll do some bloopers. I have a lot of bloopers when I'm filming. The way my tongue twists is hilarious. The noises in the room, the paranormal stuff that happened, I can make a whole blooper reel on that. So we'll get there. Don't be sorry at all. All right. Miss Josephine, you got the Skull of Light. And this is a card that's been coming out a lot. Not this particular skull, but there are 3 or 4 skulls in this deck. And even in personals, it's been like skull, skull, skull. Which is, for me, when I see bones in a vision or a skull in a vision, it's seeing beneath the surface, right? Bone beneath flesh and skin. That's kind of like my interpretation of it. So whenever I see a skull, I know there's going to be something deeper in the reading that you're going to be looking for. So I also see what I just did there. I explained that to you guys. I was thinking of doing a few videos like that. Maybe some live streams talking about how to not just read Oracle, but to read the signs and symbols around you. You keep seeing the same number, or you keep thinking the same thing. I don't know really how to explain it, but I feel like if I did a live stream and had these open discussions and let you guys ask questions, I think that'd be really interesting. So we're going to do that. In September, we're going to start mediumship, musical mediumship, which is something I like to do with personal clients when I used to have them. And that's a whole new thing. We're going to be live streaming. So there's lots of stuff coming. It's just coming so very slowly because it's just me and sometimes Ghost. I don't have anybody helping me with this stuff. So I've really got to schedule it out, parcel it out, and figure it out. But I do have these great ideas, and I now have ways to execute them. So we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff, particularly come September when RJ's back to school. All right, Josephine, thank you for your patience. Let's move on to the Skull of Light. Yes, like number 11, if that's what you mean. Welcome, peace. And sorry, Josephine, one more second. Let me just explain. Don't go running off. Normally it's $2 for one card or $4 through PayPal or Cash App. But one of our members, Mr. New England Joe Rody, paid for someone to get a reading. So since you're new, if you would like that, and I think at the end, I'm going to go through and just, I'm peace. If you'd like a reading, you can have one tonight because it's bought and paid for. And if you have a question, I will do my best to answer it with one card. I do offer personal readings, 7 to 12 cards, where you can get way more information. But with one card, I can usually answer the question well. So you got to hang out, though, because you got to wait your turn. All right. Josephine, we can stay in the dark, exist only in the midnight hours, but shining the torch, the victory is ours. As the famous psychotherapist Jung suggested, knowing our own darkness helps us cope with the darkness of others. Taking the time to know thyself and to seek understanding of our more destructive or shadow natures can lead to huge happiness and less anxiety. The idea of being shown the way in the most difficult of times and always knowing that we are never alone in the darkness are the keys to this magical element. Josephine, light is usually a comforting thing, yet sometimes we don't really want to see the boogeyman under the bed. It's too scary, too big, and we know not how to defeat it. Yet, by simply shining the torch upon such darkness, we claim our victory. Should the skull of light enter your life, know that it's time to open yourself fully to the clarity of bright illumination. Allow yourself to be seen, to see, and to act upon what is shown to you. The time is past for hiding, for pretending, and for swallowing our discomfort by accepting the status quo when it really doesn't suit us. So, Josephine, hey, Joseph, what's up? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Life with Bobby. Yeah, I totally feel that. Josephine, there's something here, and I feel like we've been talking about this for a really long time with you, where you know something, but you're refusing, like you're unwilling to acknowledge it, right? You're unwilling to acknowledge the 2-ton elephant in the room. You see it's there, you know it's there. It's bright pink, right? It's a bright pink 2-ton purple elephant or pink elephant sitting on your couch, and you're just walking around pretending as though it's not there at all, because acknowledging it would be like, what the heck is this elephant doing here? You know what I mean? I'm being ridiculous, as I usually am in my examples, but that's exactly what this is. Josephine, you already know the answer to the question you're asking yourself. The thing that you're ruminating on, that's been bothering you. Should I stay in this relationship? Should I stay with this job? Should I move across the country? Should I put my mother in a nursing home? Like, whatever this question that's been nagging at you is, you already know. You just don't want to accept it. And I don't know if that's because, Jules, I got you. I don't know if that's because, you know, it's like a woman, I'll just use this example, who knows her husband's cheating. She knows. She's seen the text messages once, and she just can tell, right? She just knows. She doesn't have any tangible evidence. And she's like, all right, I'm never going to look in his phone again, and I'm not going to ask him any questions, because then I'll have evidence, and then I'll have to do something about it. Then I'll have to accept that this is the reality, and then I'll have to act. That's what's going on with you. There's something going on, Josephine, where you just, it's like, you know, but you're like, what I don't know can't hurt me. And you, because there's no tangible proof, there's no evidence for anyone to point to, you're just walking around pretending that you have no idea and that everything is fine in this situation and or with this person or people. The universe is saying, how long are you going to do this? Because you're the one that's suffering, pretending, thank you, Blue, pretending that, you know, life isn't how it is. That means in one situation, at least, you're building around a fantasy. And once that fantasy, you know, comes crumbling down, everything you've built on top of it is going to go with it. In the next week or two, Josephine, the universe seriously wants you to consider facing the facts of a situation. It's going to be hurtful. I just keep hearing devastated, and I keep hearing you cry, just like this pain, right? This radical, painful acceptance of whatever this is, but then you get to move forward from it. You get to move on from it. Once you accept this, then you can start making decisions in other areas of your life based on the truth, based on facts, not what you're hoping something turns out to be or what you're hoping to be wrong about. I really hate this because I know what this feels like. As long as you don't acknowledge the truth, you don't have to acknowledge any failures, heartbreak that comes along with it, right? Because what are you talking about? You know, I'm not being cheated on, obviously. Once you accept that that's what's been done to you, and I'm just using that as an example, then you have to accept the pain, heartache, humiliation, etc. that comes with it. Not to mention figuring out what you're going to do. Are you going to stay with the cheater and let them do it again? Or do you have to upend your whole life and leave, right? This is a major decision that you're basing off of fantasy here. Oh boy. I like the red tie too. Who's next?
Aunt
You're on mute.
Edna.
Yeah, Anna.
Yep.
Don't be a glutton for punishment. Yeah, and I hope you're feeling well. I don't remember if you were here 2 weeks ago or not, but I was the past couple of weeks I've been thinking about you like a lot more than normal. So I mean, Joseph, you could do that. You just have to watch because, make sure you know the person. You don't want to end up in like a third party situation. You know what I mean? I would say if you know for a fact she's single, go for it. If you don't know for a fact she's single, stay away from it. And that's just like practical human advice, right? I can give you a reading though. Yeah, for some reason, like, not that I don't think of you every once in a while, I think of all of you guys, but for some reason you've been in my head a lot. Also, guys, Mark Halstead has been in the ICU for a couple days. I don't know if you guys are aware, but he did message me. He had to get like emergency dialysis. And I think he said this morning that he might be being moved to a regular room. So I'm going to do a timestamp for him if obviously he's not able to pop in, and just send some prayers out to him. Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, you guys are the best. I love this chat. What I am going to do before I read for Aunt Edna, though, is just pop my air conditioner on because I'm starting to get really hot, the lights and the hair, and I'll be right back.
After Aunt Edna will be Jules and Mandy, okay? So if you two are listening, you'll be the next two, okay?
Jules and Mandy Pandy? Okay. By the way, Netter and Blue, that was so sweet of you. Did the new person hang around? What's up, Jarvis? My favorite gerbil milker. Thank you, Life with Bobby. I've been doing a lot more videos like natural lately, mainly because I've been sick, but I do appreciate you guys have been so incredibly sweet about it. All right, Aunt Edna, you got card number 47, Scold, and it is the card of the future in the upright. Okay. Edna, as you set your intentions for the life you desire, the Norse goddess Skuld comes to show you glimpses of your future. You experience these magical journey markers as flashes of insight and moments of inspiration, like an echo of something that exists in another dimension. It's fun when things turn out exactly as you predicted, but remember that the essence of your intention means more than its form. The goddess Skuld, who rules, can't say that, who rules the destiny of gods and men, says remaining true to the moment is your greatest power. Allowing the self to evolve as you go and discovering new things today sets the path for destinies to unfold. The power of the present and how you respond to life's potential is the potent, fertile seed of the future. In order to claim the future, you must attend to the now. Even then, nothing's guaranteed and everything is infused with magic. So that's right. Happy Mother's Day, mamas and daddies who are both. So the first thing I saw, this is definitely true. Make sure that as you're planning for the future in any capacity in your life, could be something very small, but there's something, you know, that you're looking forward to in the future. Make sure you're, I was going to say dotting your T's and crossing your I's, but you know what I mean. Dotting your I's, crossing your T's, making sure that, because I feel like there could be something missed. And then this thing that you're looking forward to, that's I see it as just like a gathering, some kind of event that you're excited about. I don't know when in the future this is coming. I would say in the next month or two, if I'm seeing it right. Just make sure you're tending to every little detail. And I'm not seeing anything big happening here. I'm seeing like you planned a wedding for somebody and like everybody forgot about the cake, right? Nobody ordered the cake. It's something like that. Just pay attention to the little minute details in anything that you're planning or helping to plan or even planning to attend. Another thing that I saw as soon as I picked up this card is you are getting glimpses and images of things about to happen. You always have. Most of us in here that have been coming in for a long time know that you're a little bit uncomfortable with and within your abilities, right? But I feel like here, it's so weird. There's almost like an obsession to find out more, right? It's like you get this glimpse, this prophetic dream or this download, audible download, whatever it is. And it's like you just know that something's either happening, about to happen, or something did happen. Like you get this information that you know for a fact is true. And then you become like almost obsessed. And what the universe is saying is pay attention to what's going on around you now. And that will point to what you could be doing or should be doing next about whatever this thing that you're seeing lie ahead is. If all you're doing is trying to gain more and more information, it's like why you're not supposed to get, you know, your cards read every single day. Because, you know, as you go through life and you make choices, it's just like overkill. It's flood of information from spirit, and you can't keep up because every action, every minute decision that you make could change a major thing down the line. That's why I always tell you guys, why I say I'm 98% accurate. I can never guarantee anything. And skeptics say it's because it's fake, but actually it's because any moment, any decision by any person involved could change the outcome. So instead of being, oh, thank you guys, instead of being obsessed, wondering what the universe or spirit is going to show you happens next, you can figure it out on your own. And to be honest, this is kind of, I'm seeing like this sneaky way of getting you to interact with your ability, right? Like, don't you want to know more? Well, here's how you can. Right. And I feel like that's going to be important going forward. Not right now. Right now, it's just getting you used to the idea of taking the downloads, the information, and kind of looking around at what's going on, figuring things out on your own by checking in with your instinct and intuition. That's like a goal right now that your team has for you. And all you have to do is stop obsessing about what will be and look at what is. If it's something negative that you saw or that you know is going to happen, what can you do now to help prevent it? Instead of like, oh my gosh, then what's going to happen? Then who do I tell? Right? Instead of doing all that, just focus on right now. What role do I play? What actions can I take? Because the reason your spirit team is showing you this is because there is a way for you to prevent whatever this is, or at the very least, try to or do something that's going to alter it. Mrs. Morbid. Oh, the sneak, right. I had her kicked out of a couple of chats once. I mean, I said hi to her and everything, but she ignored me. And then I texted the host and I was like, here's what she did to me. And they blocked her right out. Because like, who wants that around? Who's next?
Jules and Mandy.
Well, and it's not, even if you can't change it, there has to be something right now, like in the next couple of weeks, that you can do. If you feel like you can't have an effect on the outside party, if it's something to do with, a loved one or a friend, there's got to be something you can do to ease the burden on yourself, because there's action you can take to, I'm seeing like relieve pressure. Like I'm seeing like the popping and squeezing of a balloon. So it's probably to relieve the pressure off yourself. And there is a way for you to do that. Just, you have to figure it out instead of obsessing again, like what's going to happen next? Why is this happening? How can I prevent it? Which is great. You can't. And I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, how just like, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do because it's a destined, charted, fated lesson that the other person or people involved has to learn. Sweetly Morbid Bear, I believe, SMB. Rochelle. All right, Miss Jules, let's see. We'll use the Divine Circus for my Julie girl because that's her favorite deck. Well, that's what it is. I know a lot of people, once they get a reading from me, they'll like, this has happened a few times. I can't say a lot of people, but a few times people have gotten readings from me and they've come to me the next day for another one. And I'd be like, well, I'll do it for like the following month. They're like, no. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Now you're pulling up to 24 cards and they're all going to say something different. And it's going to really kind of water down the actual messages. You should never get your tarot or oracle or even your palm read more than once a week. That's why I do a weekly show. I know. I always pull it out. It's one of my, honestly, like out of all of them, it is one of my favorites as well. You got the Duke of Shadows card number 14. Latro. I know, Anna. And that's why your team is probably concerned here. Not overly concerned again, but trying to tell you, like, look, there are things you could be tending to right now. There could even be things you can do right now to prevent this happening in someone else's life. Like there are people around you that could really use your wisdom and your guidance, your time, your effort, your energy, instead of focusing it all on this one unfortunate situation that you just can't have a hand in. Jules, the Duke of Shadows brings you an invitation to patience. It's a cautionary card not to inspire concern, but rather to inspire curiosity. There is more to a situation, person, opportunity, or even an apparent absence of activity or success than meets the eye. You could imagine it being like the universe has another card up its sleeve and is yet to show its full hand. The Duke of Shadows indicates that a process has been set in motion, but is quote unquote under the radar of your awareness. Something is happening, even if that doesn't appear to be the case. But just like a seed starts to grow into a plant deep in the earth, apparently invisible and yet very real, you're being subjected to invisible but real forces of growth and healing at this time. His appearance signifies that the bigger picture of what is happening right now is not fully available to you. It will be in time, but for now, the Duke of Shadows reminds you that what you're seeing is not the whole story, and it's also not the final verdict. Because you can't know what you don't know, you'll need to wait for more information to come to you. So if what you see, sense, or feel is negative right now, don't dare believe it. You're in the time of your life when your perspective will be partial. And that's not through some failure on your part. It's just the way of things at various points in the process of bringing dreams and visions to life in the world. Sometimes we're at the top of the mountain and can see where we have come and where we're going very clearly. At other times, we're doing the hard yards on the journey and having to keep going through what feels like a dark night when we aren't really sure where we're going or even if we're getting anywhere at all. This is an essential part of the journey that leads us to the top of the mountain in a clearer view, but in due time. The Duke of Shadows tells you two things. First, if you feel like this, keep going because your perspective will soon become a happier and more informed one. Second, don't take things at face value right now. Things are going to shift and change, and there will be a surprising twist in your life. Though you don't see it coming, another piece of your life puzzle is going to reveal itself soon. It will help solve a difficulty or question you have been holding in your heart. So, Jules, this is talking about making a major decision or a major decision recently having been made. For example, just say you've been like in school for 10 years to be a doctor and you finally got an interview for like this really great residency or whatever. And you were told basically within 10 minutes of the interview, like, hard pass, no thanks, we'll call you. You're devastated, right? Or you're overthinking, like, what did I do wrong? What's going to happen? This is like, the universe is going to turn around in about 3 weeks to a month and be like, just kidding, here's your job, right? So don't let yourself get so upset or downtrodden over bad news or seemingly negative news, because then you could start doing things and putting energy out there and manifesting inadvertently and accidentally things that will stop it from happening, because in reality, this is just the way to get it, right? This is exactly what you wanted in this situation or involving some person. There's something here that you really maybe have your heart set on, or at the very least, you've been looking at gaining, achieving, obtaining, buying, purchasing, whatever for a while. All right. In this instance, the way to this obtainment, achievement, whatever, is by feeling at first as though you failed. You're learning some kind of hard lesson here. So just because the answer right now is no, or the diagnosis is negative, or, you know, this friend isn't talking to you, like whatever this is that's really bugging you and bothering you, if you let it throw you into some kind of, you know, frenzy, a lower vibrational, like feeling bad for yourself or getting angry or anything like that, you're just going to prolong when it's going to happen. This is someone changing their mind about something. And some situations turning very, very quickly in your favor, depending, and well, how quickly it turns, it depends on how you react and respond to being told it's not happening, you're not getting it, the person doesn't like you that way, whatever the case may be. What am I feeling? I'm actually feeling a lot better than I've been for a long time. My allergies are still pretty crappy and I'm still very, very tired, but I'm actually good tonight. You know, radical acceptance has changed my perspective about a lot of things lately. And I've had a lot of time to think and to overthink and to feel and to overfeel. But, you know, I've come to a lot of really amazing conclusions that have been a long time coming. All right, Miss Mandy. I'm going to use energy and spirit. So since none of the new people stayed and hung around, let's give that payment to, if none of you guys have an issue with this, to Life with Bobby. Because she patiently comes in every week and hangs out and never complains. And I would like to see her get a reading tonight. Against most isms. Somebody else told me recently about local honey. I wonder if it was Arisha, maybe. Somebody mentioned local honey to me when I was talking about being sick. Well, Miss Life with Bobby, you might be one of the only people in here that ends up needing one. So if you change your mind, let me know, because I think you should have one. I'm kind of getting that feeling. I tend to give them to the people who I feel will most benefit from them. So let us know. Yeah, I love all you guys. Jules, you are an incredible human, and I wish I lived closer to all of you guys, but there are some of you that I really feel I've connected with over the years on a major level. And I just appreciate you so much. You know, people reaching out when I'm in the throes of despair and like randomly getting a text saying, "What's going on with you?" That has happened so many times. Where one of you from this stream have texted me like, "Hey, are you okay?" while I'm in the middle of like this massive breakdown. It's crazy. Yes, I know. That's what I'm talking about. It was like right at this perfect time where it's like my own family doesn't even get me that way. Atta girl. All right, Mandy Pandy, you got card number 21, Archangel Zadkiel, self-acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness. All very wonderful ideas and energies here. I love you too, Julie girl. I really do. You guys are my best friends. Mandy, Zadkiel is the angel of compassion and forgiveness, and he brings an important message about your attitude toward yourself. If you tend to be too hard on yourself or relive your past mistakes with shame and self-reproach, Zadkiel showers you with the light and love of self-forgiveness. This card reminds you how your self-perception influences your energy. If you're quick to fault yourself, your energy becomes darkened with your own disapproval, and that darkness returns back to you. But Zadkiel is a supremely loving being, and he's longing for you to forgive and accept yourself. No matter what you may have done in the past, treat yourself with self-compassion and be encouraging in your self-talk. You are a child of God, and you deserve your own loving acceptance just as you are. So, Mandy, this is actually a really Blue Crossroads. I got the fingernails. This is a really important message, and I think every one of you have gotten this message in some form or another in the past 4 years, right? And Joseph, it is nice to see a new face that sticks around and hangs out. I appreciate the support so very much. Mandy, you know, I always say, and it's like a Bruce Lee quote that I misquote all the time because I don't know the exact quote, but what he basically said was, don't joke around about yourself, because your spirit doesn't know you're joking. So sometimes I'll be like, "Ugh, I'm so stupid," you know, when I do something dumb or that I feel is dumb. My energy, my spirit, my soul doesn't know that I'm being I'm just being facetious, right? And being hard on myself. What sorry, I'm getting a little chilly. Not chilly enough to turn it off. So what happens is you take on the energy of someone stupid, someone actually like lower in the brain, right? Mandy, this negative self-talk that you do, I don't know where you picked it up from. We all pick it up somewhere, whether it's in childhood or an abusive relationship, a very negative other, a narcissist, toxic person. The universe is telling you not to blame you or shame you or indict you. Okay, so this is none of those things. This is just the facts right now. The things that you're saying to yourself, particularly regarding a certain situation, like, "I was so dumb to have said that," or "I'm so fat, I'm so ugly," whatever this is that you're telling yourself constantly to justify someone else's words and or actions towards you is all wrong. Because first of all, what I feel is a lot of the things that have happened in your life, I mean, we have to take responsibility for our own actions, right? Thank you, Jason, and welcome. We all have to take responsibility for our own reactions and responses. But I feel like a lot of what's been put on you, a lot of the failures that you've taken on have not been only your burdens to bear or to carry. It takes two, right? So you're carrying all this extra weight of what other people have done to you as though it were your fault somehow. You do not control how people react or respond to you, and you don't control what they say. You can hurt someone's feelings. That's fine, right? I mean, it's not fine too, but like if you hurt someone's feelings and they turn around and punch you in the face, it's not your fault they punched you in the face. That's their fault. That's their actions. Like when people who are, physically abused, they'll say, well, Gemma, he can't help himself. Oh, really? So if he gets yelled at by his boss at work, he punches his boss in the face because he can't help himself? Well, no, because he can control himself. He just doesn't. Right? And that's kind of the situation here. Just like so many of us, you've been through so much pain and you've been to hell and back, and you're coming into this period of enlightenment that I don't even think that you see. The way I see your team wanting you to step into this is by forgiving yourself for everything you think you've done. Not sitting there going, well, this may not have really been my fault. This was so-and-so's. Even if it was someone else to blame, don't place that blame. Just take all of it, because you've been carrying it and holding it for so long anyway, and toss it. Forgive yourself. And then going forward, this is a hard thing to train your mind to do. It's going to take some time, but trust me, it's so worth it, right? It took me years. And then going forward, when you make a mistake, acknowledge it, apologize if necessary, and move on. That way you're not carrying anything. That's how we get these things off our energy. And the main thing I want you to take from this reading, at least for the next couple of weeks, but I would say going forward indefinitely for the rest of your life, is stop talking badly about yourself. Go into the mirror. It sounds silly. You don't even have to tell anyone you're doing it. Do it when you're home alone. Go in the mirror and tell yourself how awesome you are, how beautiful you are, how smart you are, whatever your best qualities are, how beautiful your eyes are, how pretty your hair is, even if it's just stuff like that. Compliment yourself. And I promise you, the more you compliment yourself, the more others are going to start complimenting you. And you're going to bring in higher vibrational people that are not going to lay their BS on you, but that are going to help you get rid of yours and lift you up. And you do have that energy around you, but until you can accept yourself as flawed and imperfect, but still good, you're going to have a hard time just in life in general, especially at succeeding in things. If you feel like you're not good enough, or, if you immediately like, I can't, those are learned behaviors, and your team is trying to help you move on from and unlearn them. And I really hope you can do that, because nobody deserves to go through life feeling less than. It's just, it's very bad for the energy, and it's just bad for life. If you immediately think you're not worthy of something or someone, you won't pursue what and or whoever that is. And what if what and or whoever that is a part of your destiny? Then you're empty too on top of it. There's nothing that you've ever done in the past that you can't forgive yourself for. If you're religious, I'm just saying, if you are, there's nothing you can't be forgiven for, at least in certain religions. Wherever you want to take that. If you pray, I suggest that you pray for forgiveness for whatever you think you've done. I mean, if I did that, and I do it every morning, it would probably still take an hour if I literally listed everything I do in a 24-hour period I feel needs forgiveness, right? Just words and thoughts. But start small, write some things down. Maybe talk to people who you physically can't talk to in life. Maybe somebody who's abused you or who's hurt you, but you don't want to bring them back into your life. Write them a letter, take it outside and burn it, and let the ashes fly off in the wind. That is a major release, believe it or not. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm getting warm again. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Who's next?
Nut slap, but I don't know if he's still here or not. Do you want me to do a timestamp? Or just wait?
He better still be here. Nutslap, are you here?
He didn't answer. That's why I asked twice.
Okay.
Yep,
yeah,
there he is. There he is.
You guys are so sweet. Thank you. It's not, I'm glad I can bring the messages through, but always remember, it's your team that's bringing the messages. I'm just the oracle. I do interpret them, though, which is why, I can be off sometimes. That's kind of why I take it so seriously, because how tragic would it be if I had this amazing message, but I misinterpreted it and gave the person the complete wrong information. Thank you, Miss Julie girl. You're welcome so much. Oh, he's driving. Okay. We're using the Vampire Oracle. And I actually do still have some that Ghost bought me a while ago. And I was thinking about it the other day. I started taking this really amazing, I'm going to review it, guys. So real quick, it's this probiotic. It's called Seed, S-E-E-D. So I'm fairly thin, right? I'm pear-shaped, so I'm a little bit bigger, like in the hip stomach area. I also have 5 kids. So I promise. I'll put it in my Stanley now that you mentioned it. It's right here. So I'm a little bit bigger in the middle, and then I'm skinny everywhere else. But like, I'm uncomfortable with that. I've talked to you guys about, and I'm not fishing for compliments, like my weight before, right? Because in addiction, I was so incredibly thin that like anything over 90 pounds, I feel fat. So I'm like, whatever. I started taking Seed 5 or 6 days ago. And can I tell you the difference it's made in my stomach? I'm not getting toned or fit. I do yoga, I exercise. But listen, I hate using this word because this word goes right through me, but the bloating, guys, I couldn't believe it. After 3 days, I was a pant size smaller just in the waist area alone. This stuff, it's expensive, but it is so incredibly worth it. I absolutely love it. I'll think about it. RJ weighs 63 pounds and he is 4'3". Yeah, and I had no idea. And then I'm like, I'm so tired of feeling like this. And I just looked it up, like what's something good that can get rid of all the toxicity and the bloating and all that. And I found it. So I don't know if you're asking me, Joseph, but they don't sell the flavored ones where I live. I mean, I can probably get them under the table in Patterson, but since I don't drive, I just smoke the regular old Enjoy. Plain tobacco flavored. The mods are 99 cents. This I got by accident. I asked for refills for this and they gave me this and I didn't look at it. So I'm kind of just puffing on this, but it's just plain. I do love the flavors. I like the lemonade and the blueberry and all that, but it's hard to get them. No, I will. I'm going to keep taking it for sure. And I'll do the liquid IV too. Cause I was actually thinking about that a few hours ago. RJ had mentioned to me, he's like, what's dehydrated? And I'm like, something I definitely am. All right. Nutslap, you got The Past a Prison, card number 17. Miss Havisham is a character from Charles Dickens' most beautiful novel, Great Expectations. She's a truly vampiric creature who devours the young lives she encounters to avenge a great and devastating betrayal she experienced long ago in her treasured, nurtured past. For Miss Havisham was left at the altar, as they once said in the days of long ago, and her entire life is now a devotion, a frozen testament to that horrible, wounding moment. She has trained her one and only charge, a young woman, to devour the lives of the young men she encounters by having them fall in love with her and then leaving them again and again, gaining revenge for the old woman. Bitterness is a most terrible thing. Even those who claim they're healed often nurse a great grudge within them. Others claim that to forgive is to deny that they were ever wronged, but to refuse to forgive can create a bitter destiny like that of Miss Havisham. Each day, she reminds herself of all of her hurt and then forces her own personal bitterness and pain into the hearts of innocents and out in the open. She wounds them with her warning without them having done her any harm at all. Beware, Nutslap, those who are bitter, who have a special moment of hurt that they bring up to you over and over and over again. Be wary of those who speak ill of someone who has long been out of their life, who want you to inherit their burden. It's not yours to carry, and if it's their choice to keep carrying the burden they complain of, so be it. Why do you think you've received this card? We warn you now of the motives of someone else who insists on telling you tragic stories over and over until you've lost part of your soul to them and want to defend them. Hear our message. This is not your battle to fight, nor your story to live. You have your own path and you will have your own tragedies. Yes, you can support someone with time, your care, lend a hand, but they wish none of these things. They want your full consumption by their story, and they'll condemn you if you don't immerse yourself in their long past issue. Do not make someone else's past your prison. You now have a chance to free yourself from the sadness and misery of someone else and to set a wonderful example of how to live freely without bitterness and regret. Your kindness and desire to help may be creating a situation where you're hearing a great deal of negativity. This is having an impact on your energy, so please take steps to remove this influence or to listen less. Find those who have suffered and who have moved on, for they are the great hearts, the one who have the most to teach and who have the greatest of souls. Find the ones who have not just forgiven, but who have taken their hurt and put it into constructive purpose and helped many others. So nuts up, I don't know who this could be, and it could be someone coming in. So the example I'm giving here is like, you know how like if you're having like a really good day or something really great happened to you and you're telling a group of people about it, there'll be that one person that's like, oh, well, it must be nice because, you know, you won $1,000, but I just lost my house. You know, like they can never just be happy for you without, and if they are happy for you, they have to insert their negativity in, right? I don't really know how to explain it. There is a person around you that is like caught up in their own story. It's not that these terrible things hasn't happened to them, right? Because these things more than likely did. The problem is it has nothing to do with you, and being there listening and, you know, telling them it'll be all right. It's like, it's not good enough. They're trying to, for some reason, I don't even think they're doing it on purpose, but like, they're trying to like consume you and make you a part of it. The best example I can give is when like parents get divorced and one parent just constantly tells the kid how terrible the other parent was. You're that kid, right? It doesn't mean it's your parents, but do you understand what I'm saying? It's like it's just like always with the negative. And the universe is saying eventually, before you even realize what's happening, you start to take that negativity on in small ways until it grows and grows and grows. And you end up just being just as bitter and not living your authentic life. Because now you're trapped in your own bitterness. Oh man, I was treated that way too by this so-and-so. And then you're dwelling on that. Do you know what I mean? For the next couple of weeks, for whatever you're doing, try to surround yourself with positive, uplifting people. I feel like there's a chance here that you're going to get stuck in some sort of rut, right? Especially being on the cusp of Pisces, Aries. I would say really, really guard your energy. This doesn't mean don't let your friends vent every once in a while. You know, you tend to offer levity, you know, even when I'm having like a really horrible and I'm like sad, I'll message you and you care for me and you're sensitive to it, but you'll also make some kind of random joke to like lighten it up, right? To like remind me that life's not so serious all the time. I feel like you need to have someone like you for you in the next couple of weeks. Make sure you're not taking on too much or playing too much of a role in someone else's drama, because I do feel you getting sucked in. Maybe you really care about someone who's being abused. Maybe you really care about someone who has turned to addiction. Your heart is definitely with this person, or at the very least your friendship. But for the next couple weeks, I would say just take a step back. Maybe don't answer every single time they call. I feel like someone close to you is going through a drama or they're reliving a drama. Like, again, this is just an example. Your mom goes to someone's birthday party and gets drunk and comes home and just starts crying to you about how horrible your dad was, right? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that's what you know what I mean? And it's like, once you hear that, then you're always, for the next few weeks, you're going to just keep thinking about how horrible your dad was to your mom. And then suddenly you have this bitterness against your dad. And then within a few months from now, you don't even know where the bitterness started, but you can't stand to look at him. This is the effect that this is going to have on you. You're going to end up with bitterness in your heart for literally no reason other than trying to be there for a friend. Guard your energy. If somebody becomes obnoxious or like overwhelming, just back away from them. It doesn't mean the friendship or the relationship, whatever, is over, because I feel like this person's still going to be in your life. They just have to get through their moment without sucking you down and bringing you down with them. Yeah, lots of haters. But I got to tell you, I was really relieved the other day. I rapped a song. It was in a short that I did. It was supposed to be a joke. Like, I could remember all these rap lyrics from a song from 2002, but I can't remember why I walked into this room 5 seconds ago, right? And once again, someone gets in the comments is like, did you say the N-word? And I hate when people say that, because did you hear me say the N-word? No, because I was lip singing a song, right? And I said, no, I was lip singing a song. I'm not going to edit myself. If you don't like that, then, feel free to keep scrolling. And the person actually came back and was like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I overstepped. I was shocked. I was like, wow, and now the person's like very supportive in a lot of my comment sections. But sometimes it just takes putting your foot down and being unwilling to put up with the drama and put up with the mess and put up with the noise of other people. I feel like a lot of the time people look at me as an easy target until they push me too far, but then they turn around and make me the bad guy, right? You have to find that balance. And I've gotten to the point where if you support me, you do. If you don't, great. I don't even need to know you if you don't. Like, there's never a time, and this might be because I'm a creator. Diane, welcome, sweetie. There's never a time anymore where I watch something and I'm like, I'm going to type in the comments how much of a skank I think this girl is, or how horrible her voice is, or how stupid. I used to, but being a creator now, I'm like, you know what? Something about this I don't like. I'm just going to keep scrolling and hit so that it doesn't show up again. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, Nutslap, back to you. You have to do that in your life. I actually did tell someone that one time. I'm like, yes, I said it. Hard R, I'm a total racist. I didn't know. It's like, it just frustrates me, because if I had to go every time the N-word popped up in this rap, I would have every other word had to stop. It's very confusing. Of course, I would never say that word. It's a horrible word. I would never say it to anyone. And I don't want to get into political discussion, but if I'm lip singing a song and it comes in, I just, whatever, Bat Mom. All right, who's next? Where'd Blue Crossroads go? He didn't leave, did he? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Who's next?
Joseph.
Joseph, you did want a reading, right? No, I just have. I haven't seen you said anything in a while, so I was like, oh, I hope he didn't leave. All right, I'm sorry you brought it up. Black by injection. Joseph, I'm gonna read for you now. Diane gets around. That's why I love her. She's in all the chats. All right, Joseph, you got the 3 fates. What comes around? Card number 26. It's happening again. Many of us have faced difficulty and troubled times in our lives. Sometimes the impact of a negative experience is so profound that it leaves us with physical, mental, and yes, spiritual residue for months or even years after the actual event. While you're still vibrating, as the 3 fates put it, to the energy of a negative experience, you tend to repeatedly attract echoes of that exact same experience. So when you need to be alerted to that fact, the 3 fates will enter, showing you that this is a karmic pattern that may need to be worked on, understood, and recreated in order to be free of its influence. You may feel... Oh, RJ had that for an entire week, Bat Mom. I'm so sorry. that there are others in charge of your fate, that they are threading the needle, weaving the patterns of the tapestry of your life, even choosing what ends and what begins. Joseph, when you feel that fate has interceded and that you are not so much in control of your life, but in control of your reaction to what happens in your life, then you're beginning to work with intelligence, maturity, and understanding. With the energies of destiny, fate, and fortune, the three fates depicted so beautifully right here, with their ever-turning wheel of karma, understand that it turns and turns, as your life will, through its many themes again and again. When you receive this card in a reading, and most especially if she leaps out to greet you, you will know an old pattern has circled around again. Ruh-roh. The three fates speak. Here it is again, that situation, that person, this lesson that you have yet to learn and that you may spend a lifetime learning. You're welcome. It seems you need another cosmic reminder of something that needs to be cleared and mastered. Letting go is this moment's very important lesson for you to learn. We're not suggesting forgetting the lesson, because where's the wisdom in that? We're suggesting that you move on and learn and actively replace this experience with completely different versions of the same theme. No more repeats. This is the opportunity to try something different and see what magic takes place when you vary the approach. You must reconnect with the opportunities you have. Staying attached to old patterns will simply make them come around again, like a thread being spun on our wheel. Learn and be released from this part of the pattern that feels like unjust fate. Divination message. You may have been enjoying your own life's reruns lately, wallowing through the memories and feeling sad, bittersweet, and nostalgic about the good old days, whenever they were exactly. You know what? It's fine to muse on the past. Your memories are precious, and they do need to be tended sometimes. It's another thing altogether, though, to be filled with regret, wishing you'd done things differently. Life is a constant do-over. You get a fresh chance every second you're alive. So stop beating yourself up. You have an opportunity to heal, to clear, to no longer feel sad about the same thing anymore. You can do things differently. You're not a prisoner of how they have always been done. What you've done, even if you judge it to be a mistake, can be reworked and something to learn from. That's its wisdom. You're so not alone. We all have karmic lessons, themes, stories to seem on repeat. That seem to repeat. Learn from them. Be aware of what's taking place as a fateful encounter to master life. If you take this approach, Joseph, you'll be all the richer for learning, wise, free, and able to help others too. So I don't know your personal situation. I'm just saying, if you have an issue with any kind of addictions, compulsions, thank you, Batmom, drugs, alcohol, gambling, whatever, anything like that, be very careful in the next 2 weeks that you don't end up in a situation that could cause a relapse into those hurts, hangups, and habits. I also feel like this could be someone coming in from the past who has kind of seen that you've moved on, even though you may still be struggling with a few things. So say an ex-boss who didn't pay you the right way, a family member you cut off long ago because you just, couldn't get along, an ex-romantic partner who was very toxic, the situation. Somebody's coming back in, looking at your life from the outside, like they want something from you. However, this person has not learned the lessons you have. This person hasn't advanced energetically and spiritually as much as you have for whatever reason. And they're still doing the same things, no matter how convincing they are that they're not. So just let me give you an example. Someone you were with for a long time, but it was very toxic. You finally had enough. You guys have been separated for like 6 months, a year, however long. That person is still very jealous, very manipulative, very narcissistic, very toxic, but they're putting on this facade of like, oh, in the 6 months you've been gone, I've learned so much. They're talking the talk. This card is basically about not being sucked back into old relationships, old patterns, old hurts, hangups, habits, making sure that you've not only moved on like physically from what and or whoever this is, but mentally and spiritually as well. If you find yourself, dwelling a lot of the time, like when the weather changes, I'll start thinking of being an addiction. It just triggers me. And there's something in the next couple of weeks that's going to be triggering you to like long for something that was very toxic that you struggled to get away from. Again, whether it be a person, a thing, whatever it is, it's coming back around. And this is the universe testing you and telling you, look, even if you accept this, whatever it is or whoever it is back into your life, you're going to be fine in the long run, but you're going to have to relearn that entire lesson because nothing has changed. You've changed enough that it's not going to take very long for you to see that you've been fooled. But by then you're already sucked back in. Make sure that you really stand on the word no in the next couple of weeks. You know, no is a word in and of itself. No is a full sentence. No means no, basically, because I feel like somebody is trying to guilt and manipulate you and force your hand into doing something that could end up really hurting you in the long run. I hope that makes sense.
Next is Life with Bobby.
Well, it's okay to say yes to everything in situations where you know that the person you're dealing with reciprocates, or the person you're dealing with isn't using or manipulating you, or, you know, with people on the up and up, sometimes people just really do need help and they're not trying to be manipulative or guilt you, right? But those types of people that are genuine, if you say no, there's no pushiness, there's no attitude. It's just like, oh, okay, no problem. And they move on. That's how you can always tell if someone's genuine, right? It's okay if someone asks you to borrow $1,000 and you're like, I'm sorry, I just can't. It's okay for the person to be disappointed because they didn't get what they wanted, but not to the point where they're like not talking to you anymore, or they're begging or plead. Like, people that care about you should respect you enough to respect your no's. That's it. I'm sorry, who? Life with Bobby? Life with Bobby, let's do myths and mermaids. No, Mio, I never see you post anything, though. Diane, thank you, honey. 40-something years of practice. I started reading tarot when I was like 12. But back then it wasn't. It was just becoming popular because of the Craft movie. But I started doing it as like a business, a little bit in addiction. But thank you. I try. I really do. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for the validation. Just be careful, because I feel like you're in a really good place in a lot of ways in your life, and you've come really far to just be pulled back in, right? Well, that's, Diane, when I first started realizing I was doing something other, right? So I always thought my whole life up to that point that everybody could communicate with spirits and that we just didn't talk about it, right? Until one day I was at a friend's house and her parents already thought I was weird. And I started telling them at the dinner table, like, oh, it's so nice that your grandpa lives with you, or I don't remember if it was grandma or grandpa lives with you. You know, I was talking to him and it's so cool that he speaks in Italian. I didn't understand what he was saying. Meanwhile, this is like great grandpa so-and-so who died like 40 years ago. It was awkward. Just be really careful. Not to throw shade on anybody, but just from what I saw in the reading, a lot of what this person's telling you is not genuine. It's just not. They're trying to tell you what they think you want to hear, and they are going to say a lot of the right things. So just be careful. It's not going to be a small mistake to end up back with this person in your life. It's going to be a big mistake, and it's going to take a long time to get back out of, and it's going to really destroy a lot of areas you've worked really hard on for a long time. All right, Life with Bobby. Mermaid with a baby alligator. For some reason, I thought it said baby maggot. I don't know. Card number 5 in the reverse shadow position. A bathing beauty keeps a close watch over her baby, a thick-skinned, striped alligator hatchling. The young reptile's sharp teeth and rough exterior are in sharp contrast to his mistress's delicate loveliness. Bobby, accept your vulnerability. No one likes the idea of rejection or abandonment, and it's only natural to try to build a wall of armor to minimize your risk of getting hurt. But remember, sometimes you need to be vulnerable to trust that others will honor, respect, and love the authentic you. By letting down your guard, you'll open your heart and welcome the opportunity to grow as a person. What's up, Nicky boy? Nick Y in the house. So Life with Bobby, I feel like there's an opportunity coming in the next couple of weeks for you. So this could be the opportunity to, meet up with someone you haven't seen in a while, or to get to know someone new, a job offer. It could literally be anything. The message of the card is don't compare what or whoever this is to like the same thing in the past, right? So I'm trying to think of an example. Say you've never had a romantic relationship that worked out and it was always just horrible and it always started out a certain way and it was great. And so now someone's asking you out and it's like you're ready to date again, but all you can think about the whole time is like how horrible it's going to end. You're like, whatever this is in your life, you're projecting an outcome onto it that could end up sticky. You could end up manifesting this negative outcome because you're comparing whatever this is to the past. Now, this could also be someone who's hurt you in the past. Like I said to Joseph, do not fall into that trap. This could be for you to make the amends, to allow this person to make the amends, and only go as far as you're comfortable with, right? This doesn't mean if you allow your ex to make an amends that you have to move him back in. And do you know what I'm saying? It's a part of forgiving the role you played in bad experiences and bad choices that you've made in the past. But it's also about opening up to new people and things and experiences and ideas and opportunities. There's an opportunity here for you to really have something good. So whatever however it resonates, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for, friends to go line dancing with, like whatever it is, if you're looking for a church, like there's an opportunity here for you to get something that you've been wanting for a while or hoping to have in your life for a while. But the problem is the way I feel it's going to be presented in the next couple of weeks is going to be off-putting for you because it's going to remind you of something negative that happened to you that you went through. This is the universe saying, don't let that stop you. Take advantage of this opportunity that's coming in the next 2 to 4 weeks and try your very best not to compare it to what happened in the past. This is a whole new energy. This is a whole new reality. This is a whole new you in a whole new situation. This is like somebody who asks you on a date who you really, really like. You meet them in real life and they look like they could be the twin of the person who abused you 10 years ago. You can't take that out on them. If this person's meant to be in your life, allow them to be. Dumb dogs. Well,
ready? Nick, I'm in because he's up on the screen. Netter.
Okay. Deep, dark, and dangerous. Nikki, what's up? Here we go. Life with Bobby, I totally understand that. But that's the thing. Try to realign your expectations, right? Don't expect to be let down, but try not to expect anything. Just take, and it's really hard to do. I know it's easier said than done, but try, if you have an expectation in your head, try to just toss it aside and just live in the moment. Just for, that little while that you're with the person or in the situation, it's going to end up being super beneficial for you and different from anything else you've ever experienced. But if you don't let it in, you're never going to know that. Who shared my link? Andrew, you can share your link. You're a wrench, right? Yeah. Mark Webster, what's up? I know it's really hard. It took me, again, years to train my mind to stop having expectations. And I still have them in certain instances that I know better and I know I shouldn't. And I've come to learn, like, my own expectation is the reason I'm let down. Because I already know, for example, the person does not care about letting me down. So if I expect them to care, whose fault is that really? All right, Netter, you got the Gunakadate. Really? Maybe Ghosty can share it. No, it's still your deck. It's just his favorite deck. So it's your namesake, but it's his favorite. Gunakadate, the card of blessings, card number 10, deep. No, Diane, not at all. You know, it's really not. Especially, for example, I was in a situation where I would say to someone, just an example, you know, I need to be to work at 7:30 in the morning. So you have to pick me up at 7 because the person had already agreed to pick me up. And they'd be like, yeah, no problem. And then I text them later and be like, don't forget, you've got to be here at 7. Yep, no problem. Call them at 6:30 in the morning. Hey, you on your way? Yep. They show up at 7:20. No explanation, no apology, and then turn it around on me that I'm the one with the problem for getting on them for being late. And they would do this, for example, every single day of the week that I had work for 10 years. So I would have every time I'd say, you know, you got to be here at 6, and they'd say, okay, I would expect that it's okay, that there's not going to be a problem. And if there is a problem, you can call or you can text. No. And it was the same exact thing. And every day I had the same expectation. And every day I would be let down with no explanation and no apology. And it's hard because also when other people are involved, when someone says, yes, I'm going to do that, you expect them to do it, because why else would they say they're going to do it, right? You could always say no. You could say, I can't. You could say, I don't know if I can be there at that time. You can call and say, I'm going to be late. But then the problem became they had to find an excuse not to call because they'd say, I would always yell that they're late. It wasn't that. It was that if you call or text that you're late every single day, that's a problem, right? Like, if I'm expecting you to be there at a certain time and you're late once or twice and you couldn't control it, like, of course I'm not going to be angry. Things happen. But when you're late every single day calling, so eventually the person stopped calling me and said, I can't be yelled at anymore. But it's like, you're only it's very hard. It's very hard. And it's like this circular argument. It's a mind F is what it is. Netter, look deeper. Something that may seem like a curse is actually a blessing. Truth finds a way to be told. You are loved and protected. The Tlingit people have a deep, beautiful myth concerning a creature called the Gunakadate. A young man belongs to a village that is poor and fishing is not good. There is little to eat. He lives with his wife and mother-in-law, the latter who thinks him lazy. One night, he's walking along the beach looking for food, and in the quick coming darkness, he sees a sea monster close to the shore. The monster steps upon the shore, and the young man captures and kills it. He skins the creature, thinking that the meat may be useful, but for some reason, he has the urge to try on the monster's skin. The skin melds with his skin, and he delves deep into the ocean at the moment I can't even speak, I'm sorry. As the monster called the Gunakadate. He finds swimming as the monster through the sea invigorating. He sees and learns about another world. Just before dawn, he returns, removes the skin, and goes back to his village. He is amazed at what has happened. That night, he has an idea that he will become the Gunakadate again and look for fish. He puts the skin on, becomes the monster, and easily catches a huge salmon. He returns to his human self, hides the skin, and brings the fish back to the village, and they're all happy. And so each night he becomes the Gunakadate and brings more food home before dawn, sometimes a seal, sometimes even a small whale. He tells his wife eventually of his secret, just in case something happens to him, and so she knows where he's going at night. Some stories say the other sea creatures, such as whales, realized his deception and killed him for it, and others say he simply drowned. But one morning, the Gunakadate is found dead on the shore. By this stage, the village is prosperous again, and all are fed. None think him lazy. And so the young man's spirit returns to the ocean, which he truly loved. His wife would sometimes see his spirit as the Gunakadate, and when she does, great prosperity comes to the village. It's said that if you see the monster, you too will be blessed with great fortune. Plant companion, salmonberry, and your crystal companion, labradorite. Right? Seal? Right, Batmom. That is what always drove me crazy about it. Is like, I knew already. I knew this person was not going to be there. But when they weren't there, I would get upset and cry and feel devalued and less than and, you know, not heard. All right. So, Netter, I do feel like there's something happening in your life. There's some change that you're undergoing or that's happening around you. And I feel like you're kind of in the midst of this, right? So it's not like a change that's happening now. I feel like a recent, very big change you made, like maybe the move. While for a long time it seemed like it wasn't right and you had kind of made a mistake. In the next couple of weeks, I feel like you're going to start understanding more why you were led to make this move. Like things are going to start falling together very slowly, little by little for you, to where you're more patient with and understanding with yourself, as opposed to like beating yourself up. Like, why the F did I move here? Why did I do this? You know, it doesn't have to be the move. Just take it as it resonates. But just using the move as an example, you're finally, I want to say, like reaping some benefits of the hardships you've endured in the last couple of years. Things are finally falling into place, at least in one area of your life, whether it's romance or making a friend or getting an ideal job or just meeting people, getting out there. Things are changing for the better, where at first it seemed like this was a horrible decision, a big mistake that you've made. This is the universe just reassuring you, right? And make sure that you're not, like I said too, I think it was Life with Bobby, that you're not going into situations expecting that you already know the outcome's going to be negative, right? Again, like seeing someone who reminds you of an ex who did you dirty, don't take it out on that person. Like allow that person and accept them into your life, because I do feel like there's a lot of really amazing higher vibrational changes just coming in one after the other. Some of them you may miss, some of them you may not see and you may not accept. But the ones that you do allow in, I feel like if you go into it with no expectation of it being negative, because you can inadvertently manifest that. But if you go into it with no expectation and just live in the moment, take everything as it comes and for what it is, you're going to be thriving in a matter of months. Like you're going to be where you never even expected you could be, particularly after you moved, when you thought, wow, this was such a major mistake. It's like now you're finally, things are falling into place and people are falling into place where it's like you're understanding now, if I had never made that seemingly horrible decision, I never would have met this person, or I never would have had that happen, or it's all coming to pass for you. You just have to watch your expectation. Being pleasantly surprised is great, but going into something without an expectation of failure or something negative, some negativity there, it really does open up the door for anything to be possible, because you're not manifesting anything. You're just in the vibration. You're just in the energy in the moment. That does make sense though. But you know what I'm saying? Take everyone at their word. Just for the next couple of weeks, take everything at face value. You can ask questions, of course, and, you know, whatever, but don't automatically assume, you know, just because someone, you know, maybe says one off-color thing or looks like someone you don't care for, or, you know, don't let these little things, you know, the Seinfeld episode where it's like, she had man hands, and they're like, you always break up with people for the dumbest reasons. She swallowed too loud, or, you know, she cracked her, like all these crazy reasons. Don't do that, right? Just let people be who they are around you and go with their energy, not with so much what they say. I mean, don't take it to an extreme degree, right? If someone comes out and tells you they're a serial killer, you don't want to chill with them maybe. But do you know what I'm saying? take people at their word, take them at face value, and get to know people. Ask questions. You're very friendly. You're not a bad conversationalist. You're polite and you're sweet, and you seem more outgoing, I think, than you give yourself credit for. I don't know where the fear comes in, where you don't like to approach people, or you feel like you do approach people, but they just like don't respond. That's not going to be happening anymore in the next couple of weeks. That doesn't mean everyone you approach or that approaches you is for you, but that's where you feel the energy out. Just make sure it's the energy of the situation, not your mind telling you something else because it's making judgments based on past experiences. Diane, thank you, sweetie. You are awesome. Yeah, something like that. Diane?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, after her is Bat Mom. Then your timestamps. Unless you want to do something different, just let me know.
All right, Miss Diane, I'm doing angels and ancestors. So we had track and field day today at Little Guy's school. And of course, I volunteered. And I was so proud because everyone I spoke to from the school who didn't know I was his mom, when I would mention him, they'd be like, oh, he's such a nice boy. Or I went and sat in his class with him for a little while they watched Finding Nemo, because it started at 9 and we got rained out by noon. So they were trying to figure out like other things to do. So they had lunch, and I brought the lunches to his class and I sat with him. I was the only parent in there. So he was really, proud and happy. But when I was outside, the one teacher really stuck out to me. She was a 5th grade teacher. He's only in 1st grade. And she saw my big, huge bag. And she's like, that's a big bag. She's like, how many kids do you have here? I'm like, just one. I'm like, my son's kind of bougie. I'm like, I bought long sleeves, short sleeves, pants, extra shorts, socks, underwear, a fresh pair of sneakers, his Crocs in case he wants them, and 5 frozen waters. She's like, I'm like, he's a diva. What can I say? She's like, what grade is he in? I'm like, he's in 1st grade. She's like, which teacher? I told her the teacher. She's like, what's his name? And I told her, and she said his last name. And she's like, I'm like, yeah, that's my son. She's like, oh my God, I love him. He is the sweetest kid. He's so helpful and polite. He's so polite. And they were all just gaga over my son. And I was so proud of him. He really made me proud today. I mean, he always does, but getting that feedback from completely like people that you don't know, that aren't just trying to tell you your kid's handsome or pretty or nice. They were really, enamored by him. Thank you, Miss Diane. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. So we got rained out. So we had lunch and Italian ice, and then I took him with me and we ducked out early at 1:30. The only thing is you can't take pictures anymore. Like, they were telling me I couldn't even take pictures of him because of other kids that might be in the background and like people. I was like, I'm taking pictures of my kid. So I snuck some pictures of my friend May's kids, my friend Stephanie's kids, just the parents that I knew wouldn't care. Yeah, you're not allowed. Even on the field trip, the other moms were messaging me. They're like, Gemma, I'm sorry. We tried to take pictures of him and they told us it's illegal. I was like, okay. I'm like, sneak some if you can. You do have my permission to take pictures of him. Yeah. You're not allowed to take pictures of your own kid anymore. It's so bizarre. All right, Miss Diane. The Magic Guardian. Unlock the magic within. I know. It's crazy. Stop looking outside of yourself and recognize that you have incredible power within. And Miss Diane, I tell you this all the time. Magic with a K is the energy of the universe that allows you to manifest and create through the direction and power of your will. It changes according to your frequency. The Magic Guardian is a representation of the angel of magic who helps you direct your will to bring something into creation. She's the angel who swirls around shamans and wise ones when they are calling on the energy of magic to help them manifest something that will be healing and supportive of their path. She's the angel of all magic that is directed for the highest good of whoever is working with it. All right, bye, Nut Slap. Thank you. Love ya. You are the magic, Diane. You are the answer. You have it all within you. If you've been searching for an answer or a reason to focus, recognize that all that you are looking for is already within you. You are a powerful and magical person with the capacity to direct your intentions and will your desires into being. But your power can only be powerful when you own it. So take time to acknowledge it. Your ability to dedicate yourself to a goal and make it happen is a real gift that you're being guided to recognize now. So I don't know what DM means. Okay,
Direct
so
message.
all right. So Diane, we talk about this a lot privately, and without saying too much, I always recommend Nemo, and for myself as well, to not seek validation outside of yourself, right? And I've talked about this a lot. I had someone, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be an author. I wanted to write books. I didn't know what kind of books I wanted to write, but I wanted to see my name on the spine of a book. When I finally made that dream come true in 2021, I think it was, with Missing the Fae Theory, I was so incredibly excited. And I remember looking to this one person who's supposed to love me and support me and care for me, and waiting for him to congratulate me or say I did a good job or to be excited about reading the book. When the first copy of the book came, I was dancing around the house. I was so excited. I had it. I handed it to him, and I was a big smile on my face, and he looked at it and went, and threw it on the table, and that's where it sat for the next month. That hurt. 13 books later, I know that I did a great job. I watched the sales. I listened to what you guys say, and I no longer seek validation to the best of my ability from that person. And this has happened time and again. I reached 3,000 followers. I reached 1,000 subscribers, and I'm monetized. Whatever it is I'm accomplishing and I'm achieving that I'm happy about, I would look to this person, and because they weren't validating me, saying, great job, you did great. Even when I celebrate my years in recovery, this person just says, basically, congratulations, you no longer do what most of the population just doesn't do anyway. It's people like that I'm seeing around you, or at least one person, and the validation seeking from someone who holds validation over your head like a punishment, right? Like someone that uses the silent treatment. They're never going to give it to you. And knowing that you want it is going to make them withhold it all the more, right? Diane, there's an opportunity for you either that you're kind of contemplating in your mind or that's coming in. And it doesn't have to be anything huge. Maybe just a little thing that you'd like to do that's going to make you feel better, or whatever it is that you've been thinking of doing or that you're about to, come into the idea of in the next couple of weeks. Only tell people that are going to be supportive. Again, we're talking about expectation, right? Don't have the expectation that someone who's always treated you like garbage and never supported you is suddenly going to have a moment of clarity where they're like, oh my gosh, you know what? You are amazing. No, they're going to hate it. They're going to hate every second of you doing something that makes you happy, something that makes you feel good, something that makes you feel successful even. And they're going to do everything they can to drown it down. I don't talk about any failures, any successes. I don't talk about anything like that. Wants, dreams, hopes, needs, fears, nothing with this one particular person. Every once in a while, something will slip out, and then I'll be reminded as to why I don't talk about those things, because it's always some negative comment. That's what this is talking about. This is talking about you validating yourself and being like, you know what? Like in my case, right? I'm a best-selling author. It's something I always wanted to do. That is amazing. Regardless of if so-and-so who's never written a book or accomplished any of their dreams thinks it's great, I know it is. 1,000 people, even if they're just people on the internet I don't know, say that it is a great thing. And one person who never made their dream come true telling me it's not is going to bring that all down for me. It shouldn't. I know it will if you're not careful. And that's what this card is talking about. The magic is inside of you, so to speak, and to be kind of corny and cliche. Diane, whatever this is that you're about to attempt or that you're about to accomplish or that you're even thinking about cooking up, make sure that either you're surrounding yourself with people that are going to be very supportive and kind, even if it's like a negative word, you know, like someone saying, you know, your book was really great, but it was a little too wordy. I can take constructive criticism, people like that. But someone who's going to flat out deny that you're doing well, you did a good thing, you look pretty, if it's like getting a makeover, don't even put yourself in that situation. And again, this is very, very, very hard to do. Thank you, Netter. But it's something where you've got to start somewhere, right? So this is the stepping stone into you detaching yourself not only from validation seeking, but just in general, energetically, at the very least, if you can't walk away or get away physically from this person. And I do feel like it's one person, and you and I speak privately, and I'm not going to put too much out there. We both know who this is. Whatever this opportunity is, or whatever this thing you want to do, you're thinking of, that if you're excited about it, don't even mention it to them. If you really need to get it out and get the excitement out and talk to somebody, text me, right? You need someone who's going to support you, who's going to be just as excited as you are, not someone who's going to rip you up and tear you down and spit you out because you dared to have a dream or an idea or to be excited, right? In the next 2 weeks, be very careful of this, because the minute you mention it to this person, there is no moment of clarity with narcissists and toxic people. They're never going to sit and say, wow, I put her or him through so much. Look how much this person loves me. That's never going to happen, because they feel like they deserve, you know, the king or queen title. They want the recognition, acknowledgement of a king or queen with the accountability and responsibility of a toddler. And that's not how normal adults work. It's about reciprocity, reciprocation of energy. Diane, I don't want you to allow this person to take whatever this is from you, because I also feel like whatever this is really important for your future, even if it's a very small stepping stone for something greater that you're about to do. Stop letting this person steal your joy. You're handing it over to them when you mention it. And again, it's unfortunate. It's very hard, especially when it's in a romantic relationship. That's the one person you immediately want to tell someone something you're excited about, or, you know, you've had a bad day, or, you know, whatever, somebody said something nasty to you. I got to the point where, like, I'd be like, wow, that Uber driver was really creepy. He was saying creepy things. And this person would look at me and be like, well, what were you wearing? What did you look like? What did you say? Like, it was always on me. And we've got to stop handing things over. It's like giving someone with a gun pointed at you bullets. Thank you. I'm sorry too. It sucked, but, you know, well, it could be coming in, Diane. It could just be this little idea, it's just like this little happiness that I see you wanting to keep for yourself, but also wanting to share, but knowing you can't. Just don't be tempted. Bat Mom's next.
Then timestamps. Is that what you're going to do? Okay, I'm going to back out, and I'm just going to sit in the background.
Are you okay?
I'm shaking pretty bad, but
okay, go ahead.
Just stick around. If you want me to stay, I'll stay.
You're fine as long as you get the timestamps. All right, Miss Batmom, I'm using Moonology manifestations. Are you making fun of the way I said that? I don't know why you keep saying congratulating on in quotes. Are you mocking me, kind sir? In my Jersey accent? Congratulations. Bad mom. New moon in Pisces, attune to the divine. Yeah, he might. He's kind of a jerk like that. No. Love my netter. Why do I always get dragged into the mess? Bat Mom, you have the opportunity to slip into the flow of life now. When that happens, you want what is happening, and what is happening is what you want. Your manifesting is working perfectly. Just make sure that you stay attuned to your higher self, and you'll be well on your way to feeling blissfully happy and in tune with your dreams. Meditation is the best way to connect with your higher self, so practice it if you know how, or try learning from an online instructional video. Actually, what I like to do, because I can't meditate for a second, my mind just runs away from me. I do guided meditations off YouTube. I'm pretty picky about which ones I use. I like to use ones with certain binaural beats, certain sound waves, depending on what I'm doing it for. So I could always send you some of those as well. But you really might want to get in touch with your higher self, just kind of get attuned to that energy. Above all else, be kind to yourself and others. This card is an especially good sign for matters related to spirituality, contacting other realms, and taking some time out or dealing with fear. The more you believe that all is well, the more all will be well for you. Your manifestation affirmation: my conscious dreams create my reality. I know I've said this a million times, but we have some new people in here. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. Thank you. There are new people that'll be watching. So take 10 seconds and look around and think in your head of the first 3 red things you see. Anything. Like I've got blanket, bottle of water, vampire deck. Okay. All right. Now tell me the 3 blue things that you saw. More than likely, you were looking for just red things, so that's what you saw. That's what this is talking about, Bat Mom. The more you focus, whatever you focus on the most is what you're going to notice the most. So if you're in a, and we all go through this, if you're in a phase or a stage where everything seems negative, everything's going in the pooper, everything's going downhill, you're not going to notice as much the things that are going well, right? And in the next couple of weeks, that's going to be really important. I feel as though you should maybe try some guided meditations. Even if you don't feel like you can do them, try to do guided sleep meditations. I know a couple that are good I can send to you that I use all the time. This is about focusing on either the positive aspects of a situation or the lessons that you're learning as you go through these negative experiences. That's going to be the key, understanding the lessons, because once you learn the lessons from experiences, you're not going to repeat it again because you're going to see it coming from a mile away. I'm not getting anything really significant about a particular or specific situation. I just feel like in general, your spirit is feeling pretty low. It could also be because you're sick. I almost said 6 because I was reading proximity. I don't know. Don't ask. Just try to positive affirmations, tell yourself something nice every day, and don't allow someone else, and we've been talking about this all night, so it's like a running theme, to put a negative spin on something you're happy about, right? So again, you're excited that, I don't know, you want a vacation to Aruba, and this person's like, yeah, but and they're just, everything that you say positive, they've got a negative to come back with. Keep it to yourself. Maybe don't share the blessings that you feel are around you in the next couple of weeks. Don't share any ideas, like really good ideas that someone could steal from you. I just feel like someone is trying to destroy your happiness in the next couple of weeks, at the very least. At most, to try to make you feel like there's no hope in something. And I feel like this is someone trying to keep you stuck. They know there's hope. They know you can do better. They know that, they know you can pull yourself out of this. But they have no intentions of getting out of it themselves, and they're kind of in it with you, is kind of how I see it. So in order to keep you where you are, stuck, like they are, because they have no idea how to move forward, if you get an idea how to move forward, they're going to poop on it. Don't let someone else's energy, words, thoughts, ideas, actions, reactions, etc., behaviors dictate how you're going to help yourself and what you tell yourself about situations. What you see as a blessing, this person very well could see as, a curse. It doesn't matter because it's not technically their lives. Even if you're in a romantic relationship with this person, even if it's one of your children, you're still separate entities. We're all a part of the collective, but you're living a separate life than anyone else that's around you. If you see something in a positive light, Stay positive about it, because I feel like it's going to bring more opportunity for positivity. And I really think you should listen to some guided meditations, even again, while you sleep. So if that's something you're up for, I'll send you some. But somebody is just trying to damper, they're like wanting to piss on your parade about like everything. And I feel like it's because they hate something they're dealing with that it looks like you may not have to be dealing with anymore, or that you may have found at least a way out of. Don't share it with them. Don't tell them your way out. Screw them. If they're going to poop on it, then don't even give them the opportunity to make you feel less than or bad about yourself for trying and wanting to do better. All right, yeah, I will. I've got 2 or 3 that you can do while you're asleep. They're each for different things. Not really, Netter. Okay, so I'm going to do timestamps right now. I have 3. I have Eris, Tennille, and Casey. So I'm going to start with Eris, and I'm going to use Dark Goddess. He's still watching, Netter, but he was starting, the Tourette's was starting to act up. You guys are all so amazing. On Monday, we're going to be talking about past lives. People who came with full recall of their past lives. It's going to be very interesting. Again, it's not going to be the typical 45 minute to an hour video, because I'm trying to cut them to between 20 and 30 minutes. Last week was super, it was like 12 minutes. I didn't mean for it to be that short. So this is going to be about 15 to 25 minutes talking about past life experiences. Nice. Nice. All right, Miss Eris. Pele, transformation. Eris, the heat is on and you have found yourself at a boiling point. The pressure has become too much and you just can't keep a lid on anything at the moment. Annoyances, irritations, and infuriation have exasperated you until you've been left steaming. Pele, the volcanic Hawaiian goddess, recognizes the shadow side that has consumed you and warns you that if you continue, you might just get your fingers burned. Take the pressure off. Move on. You're no longer resonating with what you once did. Embrace the element of fire. Partake in a fire walk. Make a list of what fuels your passion. Take steps toward your goals. A change for the better is on the horizon. Eris, archetypal transformer of Polynesian origin. Pele is known for her power, passion, jealousy, and capriciousness, in addition to being recognized as the goddess of volcanoes. All right. Miss Eris, I don't know if you're caught in a decision here, but I do feel this energy of being stuck. It's like, I've tried it this way. I've tried it this way. I've tried it this way. Okay, let me give you this silly example. You've been in a relationship. It always boils back to that, doesn't it? Just for an example, and you've been in a relationship where you have turned yourself inside out and twisted yourself into a pretzel trying to make this other person happy. And each and every time they move the goalpost and you just can't seem to make them happy. What this card is saying is, in the next couple of weeks, accept that you're not making them happy. So move on and be happy with yourself. Easier said than done, I know. The point of it is, give them what they seem to want. If you can't, like your boss, say you have a boss and you've been trying to get a promotion and they're like, if you do this, this, and this, you can have the promotion. So you do this, that, and the other thing. And they're still like, oh, well, if somebody, I always say poop. I say it at least once a stream. If somebody feels like you're too much, have them go find less than. I feel like, Eris, there's this need for you to regain confidence. You've lost your confidence in some area, at least along the way. And the universe is saying, don't let someone else have this much power and control over you, that especially right now, you're going to give up something you're very passionate about, or you're going to walk away from a goal, a dream, even just the idea of doing something that you want to do so bad. And you're going to allow someone who you couldn't possibly ever please anyway, as proven by your past with this person, your past record. It's like you're giving it all up to make someone else happy, even though that's not going to make them happy either. Does that make sense? In the next couple of weeks, Eris, the main thing for you to remember is follow your heart, follow your dreams, and check in with your intuition. Don't go to someone else. Where is my poo pen? Don't go to someone else for advice. I feel like there are people around you right now that are going to give you advice that's going to benefit them, not you. Even if it's someone you really, really trust, then I would say maybe, but keep your ideas, your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams, all of that stuff to a minimum when talking to other people. Because I feel like there is someone out just to kind of take it away from you to see you as miserable as they are. That was one of my Christmas gifts from Nutslap. Thank you, Nutslap. All right, Miss Tennille, we're going to do Dark Goddesses. Imagine me when I opened it. It didn't even have a name on it. So I'm like, somebody sent me a poop pen. I love it too. It's funny. He said, no, 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 dear God, no. All right, Miss Lotus Girl. By the way, Lotus, I have Carson's reading coming Monday or Tuesday. I didn't forget. I've just had a crazy couple of weeks. Downim, the card of courage. It is very childish. We have to embrace our inner child every once in a while, Netter. Tennille, new opportunities are coming your way. It'll take courage to make the most of these new offerings. Downham reminds you to be brave and push aside self-doubt. It can be scary coming out of your comfort zone, but exciting new possibilities await you there. You're stronger than you realize. Keep climbing upward. So, Tennille, I feel like you already know. That things are changing rapidly. And some of these things I feel like we've talked about where it started off as you being kind of upset or disappointed about certain people making these decisions. And you're like, well, nobody's thinking of how this affects me. And then it turns out to actually work in your favor. This is you manifesting the best possible situations in your life. And this is the universe working with you to set up the best possible outcomes. Mainly regarding yours and Porky Pie's physical health right now, right? Being able to constantly give and help others is finally coming back to you. So in the next couple of weeks, be really careful about thinking the worst, right? About anything that happens, trying to think of like the worst possible reason it could be happening and try to take a step back. And I said this to a couple people today, so it's another running theme, and really see how you can work whatever this seemingly negative situation is into something positive in your life. How can you make it work for your happiness or for your advancement? Right? Take advantage, so to speak, of these negative situations, because every single thing that's happening, especially in the next 3 to 4, even 6 weeks ahead forward, it's like whatever lens you look at it is how it's going to play out. So keep trying to find the positive. For example, a tenant moves out and gives you no notice after you put all of this money into this house. Your best friend comes along and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a house anymore because my landlord sold it and I need X bedrooms, and you have one available and they're going to rent it. So it worked out for the better, because had the one tenant never left you high and dry, and you know what I'm talking about, I just changed the circumstance a little bit, you never would have been able to help this other person and get the rent for it, right? So that's the type of thing that's going to keep happening. And depending on how you look at it, you can turn anything almost that's happening in the next couple of weeks into something positive and beneficial for you and your family. Last one, Miss KC. Joseph, you're on a little bit of a delay. We're using the talisman. A smile. I've got something in my pocket. It belongs across my face. Ghost Dragon in his chair. Oh, he's in a t-shirt now, so he's never going to come back out and say hi. Now he's taking it off. I'm just kidding. Uh-oh, now he's mooning me. You guys don't know what I put up with here. I'm only kidding, guys. Could you imagine? I just flip him back on. All right, Miss KC. Guys, I will be back next weekend. I'm wanting to start the Tuesday afternoon chat, but I just want to make sure I'm in a position where I'm going to be able to do it every week, or at least bi-weekly. Monday, we're going to be talking about reincarnations in the pre-recorded at 11 a.m. Eastern. So go on over there, watch the premiere. If you can't watch the premiere, watch it afterwards. Be sure to leave at least 7 characters in the comments, like as a comment. Even if it's 7 emojis, it has to, for some reason, it's got to be 7 or more, or the algorithm doesn't pick it up. Hit the like button, you know. Miss KC, my fellow Pisces, you got the Luna card. Let's see what it says. This card represents the freedom of desire and the illuminated path of moonlit dreams. The night can bring comfort to let your imagination fly and to show your wild side. In the dark, our subconscious can bring to the surface vivid clues of a hidden situation. You can achieve your goals and desires if you pay close attention to the limitations of logic and reason. This card can also represent prophetic dreams and the unrealized wild side that calls upon you. Your manifestation affirmation, and so it will be. Casey, this is fairly simple, but also complex, depending on where you're at in your spiritual journey. But I think as a Pisces sun, you're going to understand it. You are receiving downloads, information, and visitations through dreams. It's really important right now that you keep a journal next to your bed or just a notebook. Even if you can't remember the exact dream, write down the first 5 words that come to your head. I feel like this could end up being nightmares too. Going out, pantomiming a shower in the moonlight with your bare feet in the earth. I know it sounds hippy dippy, but it really is something that helps us realign with spirit, with our own wild energy. I'm not saying you want to go out and do wild and crazy and or dangerous things. I don't know what's going on, but there is a part of you that's trying to escape something. And again, as I've been saying for months and months, I feel as though it's other people either telling you how you should be behaving, what you should be giving your money to, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't. And I don't feel like anyone's doing this maliciously, but it's been going on for so long and people aren't listening to your wants, your needs, your hopes, your goals, your reasonings, even your explanations, that which you don't even owe them. Right? And I think it's about time you really connected with spirit and you really paid attention to the signs and synchronicities that are coming into you so you can figure out where to go and what to do next. This next part of your life and how to make it fulfilling, right? How to make it so that not that you don't care what other people think and feel about the things you do, but to where you don't care enough to stop doing those things. You have to allow yourself happiness. You're still grieving. You're still learning to live a whole different way. And this is you getting to a space of not needing everyone else to understand that. I'm going to read really quick for Ashley, and then we are going to end. Ashley, let's use Dell and Wait. Puss in Boots, card number 26. I was my young master's only inheritance. At first, that despaired him. But soon he understood that I was no ordinary cat. I asked for a pair of boots and promised him that I would make him rich. I built a whole plan. I told everyone that my master was the Marquis de Carabas. I made him meet the king's daughter, and I defeated an ogre whose castle became my master's. He married the princess. Today he's rich and happy, and so am I. Your situation may not seem bright at first sight, Ashley, but don't get discouraged. Put on your boots and hat and try to turn things to your advantage. This is another running theme. You like that, Netter? For tonight. It's like trying to, and I'm not done reading it yet, but it's trying to make them, I don't want to say make the most out of bad situations, because that's not it. It's like really literally by energy alone and thought manifestation, trying to turn things in your favor. Netter, this is Della Nawait, the dark fairy tale. Learn to fall on your feet like a cat. Make fire of any wood. Use your cunning and your skills. Adapt to the situation and make the most of it. Maybe it'll take some harmless shenanigans, but that's no big deal, because in the meantime, it'll lead you to where you want to be. Ashley, I feel like you're so overwhelmed and so bogged down and so overburdened. Divine, I love you. You're going to be my last one. I'm so used to ending early. Don't worry about it, though. I got you. And welcome. It's good to see you. I feel like things have been seemingly going so wrong for so long for you, Ashley, that it's like there's almost like it's not in you to try to see the bright side of something. And I know the bright side sounds cliche, but again, seeing how you can turn something to your advantage. And I'd see like even using a little manipulation here. And the reason I'm saying that is because if there's someone or if there are people purposefully going out of their way to try and harm you, bring you down, ruin your business, ruin your family, like to hurt somebody you love or to hurt you, there's no reason why, it's not fair game to give them a taste of their own medicine. Now, normally the universe isn't like, go get revenge. That's not what this is. This is just matching energy. If someone's going to F with you, F with them right back. Obviously not to your danger or detriment, but you don't always have to be the quiet dormouse. You don't always have to be the wallflower who just takes everyone else's poop and never gives anything back to anyone. I've been made into that in my family, and I've been that for a long time. Whenever I mess up, it's like, well, you need to apologize. You messed up. But whenever someone messes up and does something that hurts me, it's, well, you're a Christian. Remember forgiveness. And I feel like that's your situation. It's like you have to just forgive everyone for everything and never show any kind of anger. But then when you make someone angry, you have to grovel, and like you're not doing that anymore. Speak your mind, express how you feel, whether the other person or people are going to like it or not. And I think you're really going to weed out some negative influences in your life just by like one time confronting them. When they say something negative or nasty, and then they're like, I'm just kidding. Can't you take a joke? Well, why do your jokes always have to be negative and nasty and about putting me down, right? Give it right back. The next couple of weeks is going to be really important, Ashley, that you don't just sit quietly taking it anymore. Again, we're not going to explode or become violent, but I feel like really standing up for yourself, standing up for what you believe in, and speaking on behalf of those around you who really can't stand up for themselves right now is going to get rid of a lot of the negative energy around you that's just bringing you down to the point where you can't see past the darkness. You can't see the positive to any of it. And there is a lot of positive woven within these situations in your life. Miss Divine, I'm going to use Dylan Waite for you as well. I love this deck. Baba Yaga, card number 7. I am a very special witch, mostly known and feared in Russia. I live in this strange and frightful little house that you see. I have great power over the animals of the forest, and this I must confess, I also love human flesh as a treat, most especially when it's that of a child's, I think it means. Those who meet me will never forget that encounter. A time of great and powerful initiation has come for you, divine. You're in the middle of a dark and creepy forest, standing at the doorstep of a strange house where lives an even more strange and scary, where lives an even more strange and scary creature. This is translated from Italian. That's why it's hard to read sometimes. Your courage is going to be put to the test. You will experiment tears, doubt, and fear, that's for sure. But you will also learn a great deal about yourself, discovering your deepest strength and inner truths. It won't always be easy, but in the end, it will make you grow. So definitely a little hardship coming in the next couple of weeks. I feel as though, you've been pushed to your breaking point in a certain situation. But I feel like, I don't know if somebody's like actually trying to threaten you or make you afraid to do something, for example, your abuser hits you and then dares you to call the cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it's like literally something like that, or if it's just something where you're worried about all of the possible negative what ifs and implications of a decision that you're about to make or that you just made. The universe is saying it doesn't matter what you're up against right now because you're in the right. There's a very serious, important situation where I feel like you've either definitely made a decision or you're fairly sure about the decision you're going to make. You have to stand on business. I feel like there's someone that's going to feign being hurt or who you're afraid, like maybe you don't want to make someone angry. You don't want to be accused of something. There's something that's stopping you from going like full force on this as far as stating your opinion, taking action, making a move. And I feel like what that is just somebody else and their wants, needs, manipulations, opinions, like whoever else is involved here, they shouldn't really matter. There's no reason to be fearful of hurting them or them not talking to you anymore or them being angry, because from the way I see it, you are 100% in the right. Stand on business. Don't renege. Don't back down. Don't be manipulated, guilted into not making whatever this decision is, because this is the right decision for you. That's good. Wait till after you leave. Like if this person starts being out of pocket with you, like you move and they're still contacting you, harassing you, get a restraining order. Like do everything you possibly can to let this person know that you mean business and you're not backing down. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I love you guys so much. And I did really miss you all. Monday for the pre-recorded at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're talking about people who came back with full recall of their past lives, sometimes most recent, sometimes centuries before. There's this one lady who was like one of the maidens to the pharaoh, Seti I. I mean, it was really interesting story. Oh, you guys kind of like me? Yeah. I kind of like you guys too. I'm thinking about Tuesday. I'm not sure though, as far as the live streams, ghost live streams several nights a week. And then next Friday, I'll see you guys here. Keep checking out the YouTube shorts. If you're on TikTok, Instagram, hit me up over there. It's either Gemma Jade or Gemma Jade YT. I'm also on Snapchat, but I don't use it that much. X, I've posted like 2 things in the last 8 months. Facebook, Gemma Jade. That's more of like my personal life though. I do post my content there, but there's other things. And then, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Be sure to leave positive comments, share the stuff out, particularly the shorts. And don't forget, I do a weekly 1 card up to 3-minute oracle reading every single week. So if you haven't been checking those out, check out your sun, moon, and rising. Thank you guys. Don't forget, if you got a little extra, you can donate to my PayPal or Cash App. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for showing up as always and being so amazing. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Oh, thank you, Life with Bobby. Yeah, it's more personal me. It's where I post the most, actually. Good night, guys.